Chapter 2. What It's Like. In the dim light of the training room, the rhythmic thud of punches against the padded mitts punctuated the air. Caligula stood resolute, sweat glistening on her brow, as she propelled her body through a series of fluid movements. Each strike resonated with a fierce determination that echoed her mother's expectations. Outside, the world was chaotic. The impending war against Flendale's relentless armies loomed ever closer. Yet within these walls, there was a single focus: preparation. In contrast, Anastasia lay nestled in her bed, the soft light filtering through the curtains, seeming to cradle her in a gentle cocoon. She was aware of the muffled sounds of battle training next door, yet the weight of her fatigue anchored her to the mattress. Her mother, Stella, hovered just outside the door, a mixture of disappointment and concern washing over her features. "Why are you not going to do what your sister's doing?" Stella's voice traveled through the threshold, filled with urgency and concern. Anastasia turned her head, her eyes heavy. "I was tired and I need to rest. I think that we should do this together." Stella crossed her arms, the stern edge of her tone cutting through the soft ambience. "I think you don't have to understand why I'm telling you this. I'm your mother, and I know what's best for you. And look at Caligula. She understands that I'm pushing her for a reason. We all love you, Anastasia." The phrase melted into Anastasia's mind, yet layers of insecurity held her down. She felt like a shadow in her sister's brilliance, a flaw in the family dynamic. "I want you to do me a favor," Stella continued, eyes narrowing with fierce maternal resolve. "You have to try to attack one of Flendale's allies." Anastasia blinked, the words echoing like a drum. "Huh?" The surprise rippled through her like electricity. "I can do that. I want to prove to you, Mother, that I've learned from you. I don't want to disappoint you," Caligula chimed in, adrenaline coursing through her as she punched the mitts again, channeling her sister's apprehension into determined energy. Stella's smile emerged, an evil grin that flickered for an instant. "Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Who knows who loves to fight more than you? You're born for it." With the weight of a looming battle hanging over them, the mother and daughters joined forces. Under Stella's watchful eye, Caligula led the charge against the enemy, swift and relentless. Anastasia, however, lingered behind, her heart racing but her feet glued to the ground. The scene intensified quickly as Caligula dispatched the first wave of unsuspecting Flendale soldiers with a ferocity that startled even herself. They faced fierce opposition, but the taste of victory fueled her, and she pressed on. Anastasia watched them, her body aching to join, yet paralyzed by doubt. But then, dissent rippled through the ranks as the enemy escalated their assault. They began rolling in tanks, massive metal beasts that threatened to crush her sister's progress. "Caligula, look out!" Anastasia shouted, the protective instinct surfacing. Caligula turned, eyes wide, as she calculated the imminent danger. But instead of retreating, she charged forward with renewed vigor. "I won't let you down, Mother," Caligula yelled, her voice a resonant battle cry. Stella's pride swelled, bittersweet as she observed her girls, one charging fearlessly into the fray, with talent braided in blood and battle, and the other still tethered, yet capable of more than she realized. Perhaps the time was right for both of her daughters to embrace the fight, each in their own way. The year was 1991. 6 years had bled into the past since the botched invasion of Flendale. Stella, her face a mask of controlled fury, surveyed the wreckage. Another laboratory, reduced to twisted metal and smoldering debris. Flendale's alliance with the task forces had proven too formidable. The dream of conquest, at least for now, was a bitter ash in her mouth. Meanwhile, deep within their remaining, more fortified hideout, Gertrude sparred with simulated troops. Sweat slicked her brow as she effortlessly parried blows, her movements fluid and precise. She danced around the training bots, each strike landing with calculated force. Vince leaned against the wall, arms crossed, a sardonic smile playing on his lips. "Oh, don't you find it difficult, huh?" he drawled, observing her with a critical eye. Gertrude deactivated the simulation, the holographic soldiers dissolving into thin air. "I told you I can do this," she replied, a hint of playful arrogance in her voice. "And of course, I know how to fight them. But don't worry, it doesn't mean I'm mocking everyone. It's just that I feel I just have the skills to do it. What do you say? Vince pushed herself off the wall. I say that you're getting a little too confident for your own good. Caligula has been observing you, by the way. But seriously, you're not quite one of the top like her. Gertrude's eyes narrowed. Why do you say that? Because you believe she's better than me? I know I'm getting better with each passing year. I've been training hard since I was 4. You're right, you have improved. It's just, I caught you reading world maps and history books. I don't think we need to study like normal students do, Vince countered, a flicker of genuine curiosity in his eyes. Gertrude shrugged. It's not bad to add knowledge. It's important for me to know all the locations, everything in there, or else I always get mistaken. I've studied longitude, latitude, the countries in the world, the most tourist spots. Why are you studying that, Gertrude? Vince pressed, his skepticism evident. I told you I want to learn something new. It doesn't mean I'm betraying you or my family. Brunhilde just teaches me what she knows when she has free time. Vince's gaze hardened. Prove it to me then. I hope you can show me something. Before Gertrude could react, Vince lunged, a fist aimed at her face. Reacting instinctively, she caught his hand, her grip surprisingly strong. With a swift, controlled motion, she pushed him away. Vince stumbled backward, caught off guard. He landed hard, the breath knocked out of him. Gertrude hadn't expected to take him down so easily. A surge of confidence, bordering on unease, washed over her. I told you I'm good at this, she said, her voice steady, though a tremor of surprise ran through it. So, you might not want to act like I don't know anything about fighting anymore. I told you I want to learn some things. Vince sat up, rubbing his jaw. Oh, I see that you're good at that, Gertrude. But I can't believe you threw me like that, like you were angry. Well, I could see that you're lucky. Maybe you have some super strength that is going on, because Caligula never had that ability. Maybe all Waldens are super different after all. I told you so, Gertrude repeated, a hint of satisfaction in her tone. Perhaps. I think that probably it's a good idea that you are learning something like that. And that's not a big deal that you're already dealing with good people, because we are evil, Vince admitted, a hint of grudging respect in his voice. I know that, Gertrude replied, her expression softening. Besides, don't bother yourself too much about my dealings. I am always humble for my family. I know this is my home. Vince changed the subject, a flicker of concern in his eyes. Where is Anastasia? She was doing her own training, Gertrude explained. She can't do to train herself more because of that. She was like trying to be a scientist. Vince snorted, shaking his head. What? That girl makes me laugh already. Me too, Gertrude agreed, a faint smile playing on her lips. Just sometimes. And now I have to do my other practice. Anyway, I already proved what I deserve. She reached for one of the batons and pressed a button on the simulation panel. A new scenario materialized, depicting a horde of simulated evil troops, each more menacing than the last. Prepare to fight, she steels herself for the upcoming fight. The air in the laboratory hung thick with the smell of ozone and burnt metal. Caligula stalked through the room, her boots clicking impatiently on the grimy floor. 2 figures hunched over a tangle of wires and sparking conduits, their faces illuminated by the harsh fluorescent lights. Why don't you fix it faster? She snapped, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. Don't you know I'm going to practice my experiment? The word dripped with a sibilant hiss, hinting at the nature of her practice. One of the workers, a man with grease smeared across his forehead, straightened up wearily. I don't think we can fix it in a day, ma'am. The power regulator is completely fried. Caligula's eyes narrowed. Then you better find a faster solution. I don't tolerate incompetence. She turned on her heel, dismissing them with a flick of her wrist. She retreated to the hall, hoping to find solace in the book Stella had gifted her. Something by Machiavelli, disguised as light reading. But as she settled into a worn armchair, a new figure approached. He was tall and well-dressed, a stark contrast to the grime and disarray of the facility. Who the heck are you? Caligula demanded, her hand instinctively reaching for the hidden pistol beneath her coat. My name is Rautha, he replied, offering a polite nod. Caligula lowered her hand slightly, assessing him. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Rautha. Besides, I am very pleased that someone is a gentleman, probably like you. Sorry that this day wasn't the best. After we tried to invade Flendale's city called Pasota, Rautha's eyes widened slightly. I think we have to be careful when we are invading them. I told you, there are so many of them. Now they have task forces to do their job, some police and soldiers there. A cruel smile played on Caligula's lips. I will prove to them who they think I'm not. I will make sure that I can give them a big disaster that they are not going to expect, because I am a different person that they will ever realize. Because I believe in you, Caligula. Caligula tilted her head, intrigued. I didn't know that you're also one of the new members here. How come? Oh, someone just recruited me. It was Vince's father, one of your trusted henchmen. I know, and I'm so glad that you came here. You weren't mistaken to come here, I'm telling you. Caligula stood, her eyes gleaming with a renewed fervor. Your insights will be invaluable. That's good to know. Rautha offered a knowing smile, and Caligula saw in that instant a reflection of her own ambition. He understood the game she was playing, the stakes involved. He was an asset, a pawn, and perhaps something more. Meanwhile, in Pasota, the mood was buoyant. Emily stood on a makeshift stage, bathed in the adulation of the crowd. I am so grateful that we are all safe, she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. The Walden family thought they were going to kill us, but we are better than them because we have better knowledge than them. The people roared their approval. I would like to let you know that I want to sort this problem out against evil, and I am doing my whole responsibilities against them. I will prove to you that our home was always been protected and secure by us. Flendale stepped forward and shook Emily's hand, sealing a pact of mutual trust and shared purpose. Now I can guarantee her trust. And don't worry, that sooner we are going to do this for the greater good, and we will take down evil forces once again, Flendale announced to the cheering crowd. But Caligula, hidden away in her laboratory with Rautha whispering ideas in her ear, was already weaving her next scheme. The cheers of Pasota would soon turn to screams. The game had only just begun. Stella paced the opulent yet sterile confines of her private quarters. The television screen, now black and lifeless, reflected her distorted image back at her, a woman consumed by fury and frustration. Outside, the world celebrated the triumph of, well, them. Flendale and his insufferable team. They had dared to succeed where she, Stella, had faltered. Look what they have done, she spat, the words laced with venom. They are enjoying their victory against us. She hurled a delicate crystal paperweight across the room. It shattered against the wall, a small act of rebellion against the crushing weight of failure. Caligula, ever the pragmatist, leaned against the doorway, his expression unreadable. This is not as easy as you expected, Mother. Easy? Stella whirled around, her eyes blazing. Do you think I'm just going to be happy about their stupid success? This is infuriating. Mother, you need to relax. Caligula's voice was calm, almost soothing, a stark contrast to the tempest raging within her. How can I relax? She shrieked, her voice cracking. Caligula sighed. We have time. More importantly, we need you calm. I'd rather not deal with a medical emergency on top of everything else. It will take time to dismantle their victory, but it can be done. Caligula, don't you understand the implications of their winning? Stella's voice dropped, fear creeping into her tone. I don't want to lose everything. They'll destroy our laboratories, our projects. That's what's important to me. Her voice rose in pitch again. Mr. Techno, a wizened man with perpetually grease-stained fingers, entered the room, his gait slow and deliberate. Stella, you need to calm yourself. Not all the laboratories have been compromised. No, I'm not going to relax, Stella snapped. Do you know what it's like to be a scientist? To have your life's work threatened, your equipment destroyed? Don't worry, Mr. Techno reassured, his voice surprisingly steady. This isn't the end. We can fix this. Flendale is nothing but a puffed-up peacock. It's no problem if one of our laboratories was destroyed, because we will improve our defenses, which will soon enough allow us to continue what we already started. Stella paused, her anger momentarily suppressed by a flicker of hope. Good. And I want you to make an announcement because it will take years to rebuild our hideout. It's now bigger than Flendale's main military base. Soon enough, the announcement was made. Gertrude, a woman known for her calm demeanor and strategic mind, addressed the assembled members from a podium. An unsettling alarm blared briefly, demanding attention before she spoke. I have an important announcement. Some of you will not agree, but in order to protect ourselves, we have to do this. Some of you will undergo intensive military training because of the recent loses, where a laboratory was destroyed. This is the only way to improve our defenses and continue on what we need to do. The year 1996. Inside the sterile concrete walls of the facility, 4 young women, barely past childhood, were molded into weapons. Gertrude, Code 1, Anesthesia, and Warden. Mr. Techno's policy was unwavering. Training began at 11, basic conditioning at 6. Age was irrelevant. Obedience and effectiveness were everything. The air in the training yard vibrated with exertion. Today was strength conditioning. Gertrude strained, muscles screaming as she hefted a replica of a heavy machine gun. Warden, stoic and silent, moved with an almost unnerving grace, her movements precise and economical. Code 1, ever the pragmatist, focused on her grip, her face a mask of concentration. Next, they were in the bomb-making lab, a place that always smelled faintly of sulfur and ozone. Anesthesia, usually the most buoyant of the group, seemed subdued, her brow furrowed as she carefully measured out chemicals. This wasn't her forte. She preferred hand-to-hand combat, where her lithe frame and quick reflexes gave her an edge. Finally, a 10-minute break. They slumped against the cool wall, panting, sweat plastering their clothes to their bodies. Anesthesia, restless, mumbled about grabbing a change of clothes from the room she'd last left them in, Caligula's room. The door wasn't fully closed. As Anesthesia pushed it open, a wave of heat, both literal and figurative, washed over her. Caligula, one of their instructors, a man of brutal efficiency and unsettling charisma, was entwined with Rautha, a fellow trainee in a tangle of limbs and exposed skin. "Do you mind?" Caligula snapped, her voice laced with anger. Anesthesia, mortified, stammered, "Sorry," and slammed the door shut. The image burned in her mind. She found Gertrude leaning against a water fountain, her face pale with exhaustion. "Gertrude! Gertrude! You won't believe it. I just accidentally saw Caligula making out with Rautha." Gertrude shrugged, a surprising gesture of indifference. "Your guy? You mean my guy. I just don't really like him anymore. Besides, I broke up with him last night. He can do whatever he wants with Caligula." Anestesia's eyes widened. "Oh, that's... ouch. Look, I know things aren't exactly conventional here, and there are plenty of other hot troops you could flirt with." "Oh, please, Anesthesia, I'm okay being single for now," Gertrude said, a strange glint in her eyes. More than the breakup, more than the betrayal, she felt an unease, a growing dissatisfaction with their controlled existence. "You're right. It's okay to be single. And this is stupid. Caligula didn't even do anything. It's not fair." Anesthesia gestured wildly. "Well, duh. I think Caligula was good among to all of us," Gertrude replied, echoing a sentiment she had often voiced, but was now beginning to question. "Yes, and I just realized why we are always staying here for training, and we never go somewhere. We only go outside the hideout just for the training. They make borders that we never going out somewhere." Anesthesia suddenly blurted out. "I know, and usually I was thinking why... Are you still sad about it, Gertrude? I'm not saying Caligula was such a boyfriend stealer. No, it's fine. I realize he was never that serious about me anyway."
"Anyway, I don't know how to treat you." Anesthesia trailed off, unsure how to comfort her sister. "Where?" Gertrude asked, confused. "We should be so careful when we are outside the borders. And, I know what you mean, but we can't go outside, because we only have 10 minutes. Gertrude reminded her, pulling her back from the brink of rebellion. "Oh, darn. I know something else what we do first. I just wanted to do something, and I admit that fighting someone is making me bored. Anastasia's voice was a low murmur. I know that you don't want to do some dangerous stuff much, but is there something you want to give me? Gertrude asked, sensing her sister's restlessness. Yes, and it's a secret. Anastasia said, a mischievous glint returning to her eyes. They retreated to Anastasia's austere room, decorated only with a threadbare cot and a metal locker. Anastasia tiptoed to the locker and carefully uncovered a hidden stash, concealed beneath layers of plastic bags. With a flourish, she revealed, a magazine. Gertrude burst out laughing. What did you expect me to do, get happy to read that one? No, Gertrude, but there's a lot of girl trends, and I can't believe I don't know how to buy a lot of these. And seemingly you never saw a lot of makeup there, some lipstick, cosmetics, and some face powder, and why are they using it? Anastasia asked, her voice filled with genuine curiosity. Because probably it was special for girls. Gertrude said dryly. Oh, I don't think it was too special for Caligula. We never used makeup for our entire life. We only spend so much time to study with the stupid experiments, training so hard, then I just want to try it once. Because they only focus on their experiment to be so successful. Gertrude finished, her voice laced with bitterness. Yes, because of that, I never knew how this world was big, and I didn't really know. That's why I studied world maps and everything. Because I know that there is always something I have to learn than doing to fight someone else. Yeah, you had a point, but I know that Brunhild always brings you a book because you said to Vince that's not bad to learn some new things when you read a book. And I also want that, but don't worry, I won't say it to anyone. It's not bad to read a book when you stole it in the city, it's that at least you always had an idea after you learned something new. Okay, no time for talk, we wasted now for 2 minutes, and we should enjoy reading a magazine now. And for a brief, stolen moment, as they pored over glossy images of a world beyond their concrete walls, they weren't soldiers, or weapons, or products of Mr. Techno's twisted vision. They were just girls, dreaming of lipstick in faraway places, a flicker of hope igniting in the darkness. The 10-minute break, a tiny rebellion against their preordained fate, a reminder of the lives they were denied. The grand hall buzzed with anticipation. Yesterday, Caligula had summoned everyone, a rare occurrence. Today, all were present, a tapestry of tense faces and hushed whispers. Then, Caligula strode in, Rotha radiant by her side. You wouldn't dare miss this announcement, Caligula boomed, her voice echoing through the hall. You are all going to be happy because I am now carrying a child with my love, Rotha. A collective gasp swept through the room. Joy erupted, save for one shadowed corner. Gertrude watched, a knot of jealousy tightening in her chest as Caligula and Rotha embraced. She turned and fled, the saccharine spectacle unbearable. Back in her room, a storm raged within her. Loneliness, anger, and a deep-seated envy clawed at her composure. On impulse, she grabbed a knife. As the blade sliced her skin, a strange heat bloomed through her, and to her astonishment, the wound sealed itself, leaving no trace. This wasn't the first time. She remembered a similar incident when she was 8. Confused and disturbed, she wandered outside, the rocky landscape mirroring her inner turmoil. She tripped, falling hard onto the jagged stones. Pain shot through her, but then, the now familiar heat surged, and the scrapes vanished, her skin miraculously restored. What was happening to her? She had no answers, only a growing sense of bewilderment and unease. Returning to the hall, she found the celebration in full swing. The sight of Rotha, glowing with happiness, only intensified her inner turmoil. Where are you going? Stella, her mother, asked, noticing her withdrawal. To rest. Gertrude mumbled. I'm glad you're back. I know your break was harsh. I convinced your father to extend it by 15 minutes. I see how tired you are. Don't worry, mother, I'm always good, Gertrude replied, still reeling from the self-healing incident. I know you're doing good. Besides, I also want you to do something for me and your father, though they say you don't want to be a scientist. I just don't love science, like experiments, that's all. Stella sighed. Oh, I understand. But at least we are all happy for Caligula, since I'm going to have grandchildren. Mother, I think you have enough successful experiments. I know, but this time we are not focusing on protection, but this new child instead. But mother, isn't what we are doing enough? Stella's eyes hardened. Yes, Gertrude. We are evil, and we don't belong in that city. Good people live there. Remember that. She kissed Gertrude's forehead before rejoining the celebration, leaving Gertrude alone with unsettling thoughts. In her heart, Gertrude knew that her mother was hiding something that she didn't want her to know. Meanwhile, in the city of Pesota, Rosa played in the playground with her new friend, Doreen. Unbeknownst to them, Vince and her henchman Sandy lurked nearby, plotting their abduction. Sandy, you're one of the most trusted henchmen I have. I know you can abduct them as planned, Vince hissed. As Vince and Sandy prepared to strike, Rosa, with sudden awareness, screamed, "You have to run now. Evil are there." Rosa and Doreen sprinted away, heading straight towards the police station. Vince, thwarted, cursed under her breath and retreated with Sandy back to their van. The game had changed, and Vince didn't give up just yet. The flickering fluorescent lights of the war room hummed, mirroring the agitated energy thrumming through Mr. Techno. Reports of another failed mission landed on him like physical blows. Wounded troops, dwindling medical supplies, and Vince, his most trusted commander, empty-handed once more. "I can't believe you failed again," he roared, the veins in his neck bulging. His voice, usually a low, controlled rumble, cracked with frustration. Vince stood before him, shoulders squared but eyes downcast. "I'm sorry, boss. I told you, I tried. We tried to kidnap substitutes." 1. Mr. Techno slammed his fist on the table, rattling the scattered files. "I need dozens. I need an army. They're meant to be evil troops, unstoppable." "It's not easy," Vince argued, her voice tight. "The police are on high alert. We're being watched. Then find a way. I'm pouring resources, manpower, everything. I'm trying my best, Vince, and all I see is failure." He slumped back into his chair, the anger momentarily replaced with a weariness that aged him 10 years. "I know you are, and I know you're trying." Vince replied, with understanding. "Please just, trust me to figure this out. This won't happen again." Mr. Techno simply waved a dismissive hand. Vince, defeated but not broken, retreated to the guest house. A stiff drink usually eased the tension, but whiskey felt like sandpaper going down her throat tonight. Code 1 found her there, moodily swirling her drink. "Tired of mission fails?" he asked gently. "Tired of everything." Vince sighed. "Your father, he never sees the work. Just the results. It's exhausting. He's under pressure, just like you. He wants to help Mom defeat one of Flendale's henchmen. I think he's running his own private agency." I know. Vince ran a hand through her hair. "Can we not tonight? Just, help me unwind. You need to relax. I know being a commander isn't easy, but Rotha will be promoted soon, and she will be a good commander after her rank up." Vince looked at him, a flicker of something akin to hope in her eyes. Maybe you're right. And besides," she added, a hint of a smile playing on her lips, "there's no rule against a little company, is there? Especially, someone I care about. Someone I've always loved," Code 1 confessed, stepping closer. He gently caressed her cheek, and she responded with a kiss. The weight of the day, the pressure of the mission, began to ease as they embraced, two souls seeking solace in the shadows. Meanwhile, across the city, Emily patrolled the park, her brow furrowed with concern. Florian arrived, his face grim. 2 girls were almost kidnapped, he reported. They're terrified. It was definitely Techno's crew. The evil forces. They never learn, do they? Emily muttered, her hand resting on the hilt of the energy pistol at her hip. I promise to protect this city. And you will. Florian affirmed. But Flendale needs to know. He will, Emily confirmed. Right now. She knew that even in the glittering metropolis, where good ostensibly reigned supreme, the shadows held a tenacious grip, and the fight was far from over.